people over paper. Man, it's been a long time coming, y'all. We here, ladies and
Hello.
gentlemen. Caleb Kelly, Patrick Fields, Jay Hall, all in the same room. Well, virtually. Caleb, say what's up to the people. Patrick, tell them what's up.
Man, how y'all doing? You know, it's a blessing. Get to be here with my brothers. I'm excited to talk about life. You know, we come from, something that we can all relate to in ball, but we also can relate off the field in business. And so I'm excited to talk about this future that we all have and excited to be here with y'all, man. For real, this is lit.
What up, man? Pleasure to be here. Such a blessing to be here with my big brothers, man. Guys that have mentored me, helped grow me, and create this platform to talk about ball, the intersection between finance, business, life, how we as athletes can be more financially conscious about the way we do things, and give free games to the people.
Yes, sir. All right, so we realize that most of our audience is probably transitioning from the Sooner podcast over here to ours. So for Sooner Nation, you guys know who we are, but for those who don't know who we are, whoever come back to episode 1, me, Jay Hall, I got my undergrad in health and exercise science. I got my master's in business with my boy Caleb Kelly. Patrick got his master's in accounting and is now at Stanford. And what does that mean? Why are we talking about our qualifications? So the purpose of this podcast is to introduce to our audience conversations that we've had over the years that have made us who we are. I always tell people when they ask me this question, Jay Hall, what did you learn most from your time in college? And I would always say that the people, the network, are always and will be always more important than the paper, the degree, the money. Who you surround yourself with will ultimately tell you what your future will hold. And so what I did, I was like, you know what? Caleb's a good dude, educated. We got similar experiences. I know he's gonna grind for his. Let's make a podcast together. Patrick, same deal. So we all came together and we were all like, there is no way we can't win in life if or there's no way this can't go well if we all just come together and just talk about how we got here. So Patrick, Caleb, uh, Alex, and whoever else will be involved with people over paper. I'm excited. All right, so um,
You know, that makes me think real quick. I'm gonna stop real quick
yeah,
because you know, this thing's going to be authentic. So even if I'm talking, we all have our own personalities. For those who don't know us, we all going to speak up. Like we all going to talk. That's how
yeah,
Pat is. He's a very argumentative person. Jay Hall is a very opinionated person. And me, I always think I'm right. So let's just keep it a band. And so when you say bringing us together, and you say, man, it makes me think of the word. It makes me think of the Bible, because a lot of people who talk about education, who talk about, and I know we're going to get into what got us here, but who talk about it, you think about that three braided cord, man. Like one by himself can be defeated, two can defend themselves, but three strands are not easily broken. And so when you put this together, that's exactly where my mindset went. It was like, okay, these two dudes combined with me, like that's a cord that can't be broken easily. And so I think we need to make sure that we talk about the Bible and how it's impacted all of us, because I know last year Pat had really an awakening. This year is really your awakening and mine as well. And so I think that's important. But go ahead on. Yeah.
bro. For this podcast, we our topics for our audience, right, is finance, life, and a little bit of sports. We'll throw it in there. But
Right.
for our listeners, we're still figuring this out. This is why when we drop the episode, this will be episode 1. The next 2, will be a little bit more organized. But those are the topics for y'all wondering what this will be. Life and finance, like Caleb said, 3 braids. I like that. Caleb. We'll probably make an episode out of that. Pat, all right. What are y'all expecting out of like the podcast? Like what are y'all looking forward to most? This is gonna be like a 3-man thing. So I I guess I'm so used to hosting from like my other podcasts. I've kind of like controlled the conversation, but like y'all say something, man. This episode 1. This is free. Like this is I have no schedule for this episode, y'all. Like Caleb, bro. How's life been, man? Like Patrick, like I was just cut by the NFL. We got Pat out here getting his 4th degree. Caleb's a dad now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Life is fast. They always say, I feel like I'm an old guy already in my first year of fatherhood. But they say the days are long, but the years are short, because season about over for Pat in this first season of buying a new house, not being in school, first job, that's coming quick. I mean, all this time and effort you put into education with how many degrees we gonna have in here altogether? I got 3, J Hall got 2, Pat gonna have 3 or 4. How many?
I mean, 3 and a minor. So if you include the minor.
Right.
Oh,
so, I mean, just
okay.
all of us and all that time we spent. And I love how J Hall puts it, where what did he learn? He learned people are more important than the paper. And people is how you get to the paper, because 3 degrees and 2 of them are business, 1 is communication. And I'm working for the University of Oklahoma football team as the director of career and professional development, which is like combining all of it. But how rare is that even? Like, people don't do that. Like, usually you have a health science, like our video editors and everything are health science majors, and they are actually doing media work. And so it's like the people, that's what's important. And so I feel that's where I've been learning and growing. Pat?
Right. And I think to that point as well, CK, about the people. And I think sometimes we're privileged as athletes in the sense that we've always been trained our whole life to hyper focus at one particular thing and train ourselves to be elite at it. So I think sometimes for us, you know, the biggest issue isn't what we need to do and how to learn it. The biggest thing is just how to get into that door. And I think being out here at Stanford, talking to some of these guys who are, some of the big faces in private equity or venture capital, or whatever the case is, the biggest thing they always tell me is like, I know as an athlete, you can train yourself to do anything. I know that you're willing to discipline yourself, manage your time well, put in whatever effort, stay up late, put in all the extra work and the extra hours. So I'm not more so worried about your degree. I'm just worried about getting you in the door. Because once you get your foot in the door, as an athlete, you're going to do what you're going to do. And I think that's the benefit that we have as being athletes. So with our network, it's really just about finding the right opportunity. And I think there's a lot of good opportunities that are out there in life, but the hardest thing is to find that right opportunity and that perfect opportunity. And once you do that, from there, we're just going to do what we've always done our whole entire life. We're going to train, put one foot in front of the other, and, keep on grinding.
Bro, I feel like football has prepared us for the way that we approach life.
Right.
Like just waking up early. Terms from football. I think Caleb called me the other day. He's like, bro, like I find myself using, football and all these terms like shoot your shot, for when on a tackle, right? It's the same thing in life, like shoot your shot in life. And I feel like there are small things that we've learned over the years, like people over paper, or a firm foundation in life, right? So how can that relate to sports? Technique. And I'm just like, yo, like, we should make a podcast about this, bro. Like, honestly, a title that I was thinking was like "Fly on the Wall." Because think, bro, who has had conversations with the guest speakers that we've had come into OU, or we regularly talk to Lincoln Riley, Bob Stoops, the athletic director, Pat. Many people don't know this, but Pat, like, you had a job from McKinsey, like Caleb, um, Caleb, said no to the NFL. I'm doing my own thing. By the time this drops, y'all will know I said no to the USFL and the XFL because that's not what drives me. That's
And
not
that
the
boy gonna
the
open his
money.
own hedge fund. Hello.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, man. It's so much ahead of us, bro. The the reason we are all together is to share our journey with our audience, right? Which is the reason for this podcast. Is I don't even know honestly what the future will hold, but I think we already got some good ideas.
Yeah, and it's
What are some
amazing
ideas?
because it's at the start. And so they
Yeah.
get to see that journey where if we do this thing for years and then we do make the big bucks, we do open our own hedge fund, we do go do some private equity work, we do whatever I'm going to do, and
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
you get to the point where you get to see that process of like these who sat there, talked about it with each other, threw ideas at each other publicly so other people could see it and could model after them. And
Yeah.
because as young black men and just having all the experiences we've had, and Pat, I know you're passionate about that too, just even being young and black and successful to our own age and to our own right in general. And to have people look at us as a familiar face and be like, okay, this world, whether it's systematically against us or not, these dudes found a way to do it. So like, let's continue to build on that and let's model after them. Then all of a sudden you see more people doing what we're doing.
Bro. Yep. Think of us like a public journal. Like, honestly, for real. Like, bro, like, think, bro, we're starting this podcast, right? Like, business, life, throw a little bit of sports in there. Like, bro, let's imagine like 5 years from now, change is inevitable. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see where we grow and what happens. I can't wait to get some cool guests on here. We've like Roy Williams, for example, right? Y'all know Roy is obviously a former, superstar in the NFL and college both. But he
Just
also
got
owns a
inducted
couple
in Hall of
businesses.
Fame.
Yeah. But he invests, you know what I'm saying? He owns a couple businesses. Like, people have never heard that side. I even said on my other podcast on the prairie, I'm like, I'm interested in hedge funds and, I'm taking my series 3, but some people don't know what a series 3 is or how big the test I'm going to take is. And so I think that this podcast now, like I said at the beginning, we know we'll get a lot of that Oklahoma audience, but we want y'all to know we have come together to bring you guys along our journey in life. I think that oftentimes recruits and fans, they see us as players and incoming freshmen, and they're like, "Oh, you're from here, and you play this position," but they rarely get to see the back end. They rarely get to see the transition in the mix. I wish we low key could have started this podcast as soon as the season was over with last year, because then they get like the fresh from the beginning.
Right. I mean, and then there's
And
even
even
like the thought of when we were in college and Pat is at the library till 2 a.m. every day. And you and me are driving to OKC, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, carpooling every day after practice. Like just that grind
yeah,
where they see us on the football field, they get to see the rewards on game day, but they don't get to see all that work and know that, oh, they got these degrees. These dudes were cheating. They were doing it. No, we were driving our butt up 30 minutes every day. We were in the library for 5-6 hours. Like, this was not free. Like, time is worth money. Like, time is money, man. And we gave it up to be where we're at.
It's crazy how God brought us together, bro. Like, I had class with you every day. Pat, you was my locker room buddy.
Yeah.
Bro, Pat will always talk about, like, bro, Jay Hall, you got to get with what was it wasn't McKinsey, it was what, Bain?
Yeah. I was one of the major consulting firms.
Yeah. Pat was always talking about that stuff, and I'm over here trying to keep up. And then I remember one day thinking, I'm like, bro, I don't know a single person who's younger than me, and I'm trying to keep up with what he's presenting to me.
Yeah, I told Pat that he's the first person younger than me that I ever said I looked up to. I said, just because of how he grinds, just because of how he doesn't sleep. Like, sleep is not something that Pat is worried about. No, in fact, he got it's 7 a.m. where he's at, or 7 time difference, and he got in at 4. But you see him, his eyes, he doesn't have any bags under his eyes because he's used to not sleeping, and he's just a guy that grinds so hard. And you even, I mean, we're kind of more same. Like, Pat knows he's little bro. You and me is just kind of like brother kind of thing. And I'm a little older than you, but my actual little brother's name is Jeremiah, and so that was our first kind of connection to me, for me at least. And then we had all that time together. But just the growth I've seen, and because when it was all about ball, it was all about ball for Jay Hall. He handled his business in the classroom, but it was handling his business over there. And then as soon as it was like, okay, transition time, he took all that energy that he put in the ball into real life, into now getting Series 3 tests, getting all his hedge fund. I mean, the dude has notes for days, like journals that he's gone through. And so just to see your growth, even in just the last 11 months it's been, I mean, both of you guys, that's why it's so refreshing to me when I've seen you come in. Like, I had y'all on recruiting things, seen the growth in football and in life, and then now just life, it's just motivating for me, because it's like, hold on, I'm big bro now, so I mean, I gotta keep up with my young bucks,
Bro, that's what makes me so excited, man. I have this book. I would show it to y'all now, right? But I'm using it to stack up my laptop so I can look good for the audience. I don't know if this one will go on YouTube or not. Patrick doesn't have a fresh cut like Caleb and I, but it's okay. Anyway, no, man, I keep a journal. Well, first off, I was about to say Sooner Nation there. I have that habit of, I don't want this to be a Sooner Nation podcast. This podcast, man, like, although we're former OU guys and we know that you all are tuned in, I want this to be bigger than that. I want people to look at us and be like, oh, those are role models, right? But outside of that, I have this journal, this daily journal where I write down key thoughts, Bible verses, all types of stuff, bro. And to see my growth over the past 2 months, let alone since February is when I started it, actually January, to who I am now. What's today? November 13th. We're pre-recording this. So the 11 months that it's been has been crazy. And although I could share that on my other podcast, I just feel like I have so much more to offer. And I was like, bro, I got to create something else. Like, there's so much in my mind and so much that I've experienced individually and with you, Caleb, that I feel like I had to create another platform to get it out there. And I felt like if I found other guys who thought just like me, which I didn't have to think very hard, then literally anyone listening to this podcast could get something out of what we have to offer, because we're familiar with being young, right? Like, I was talking to a high school the other day. I'm like, I remember being 16 like it was yesterday, so I can still relate to them. We have you, Caleb, getting ready to become like a real dad. I talked and joked about it earlier, but like, this is a thing. Like, you just proposed to your now fiance, Pat. Yeah, Pat, you right behind. Well, Pat, we're gonna talk about that off air. Pat, well,
don't want to give too much up.
Yeah,
Nah,
man.
but
But like,
I think it even like it's servanthood. And so like actually Sway, that's my son's name. He's 4. Met him when I was or when he was 2, not when I was 2. And so a couple of years now building a relationship with him, man. Actually, it's funny. Like he came up, and he always does, but he's called me dad for the first time yesterday, actually. And so it makes me think of it and what you're saying because we want to pour into the next generation. It's like fatherhood is like servanthood. You look at that person younger that still has everything in front of them, even though we still have everything in front of us, but we've spent a little time building now. And so it's like, listen, you don't have to go through everything I went through to know the same lessons that I know. Like if you could take it from me and listen to me and what I've been through, then you can be ahead of where I was. Like my mom bought her first house at 34. I just bought my first house at 24. Like I'm not
that's
saying
real.
Sway gonna buy his first house at 14, but if he wants to, like
Yeah.
we gonna get him on YouTube and get him
Yeah.
right, whatever we gotta
Yeah.
do,
No,
you
that's
know?
real. That's real. That's real. Because I mean, that's the white way to think about it, bro. Because like now you have that knowledge that you can just pass on down. Like it's not even a matter of him winning. It's just like actually no, it is a matter of him winning. Like you're gonna help him win at life early.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Exactly.
I know Pat got some Pat was
Yeah, I think that's the beautiful thing I think about this platform and about having this network is like, not always in your life you have these figures or these peoples or these role model who can directly impact you personally, like Caleb or Sway. But I think having conversations like this around difficult topics are things that can like drastically impact people's life. Because I know just for myself, like I didn't even know how to purchase a suit. I didn't know how to buy a suit. I didn't know how to put the suit together. But like, had I not had Dr. Sherrod at Oklahoma, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have known how to go about that. Even just thinking about like in terms of stuff like being a man, you know what I mean? I think Caleb, even though, so young, he's taught me so much about being a man, how to sacrifice, how to really take care of my mother, how to really take care of my woman and things of that sort. So I think this is just such a dope platform because we can talk about real stuff that impacts, young black men and men at large in America, and we can get free game on difficult topics that aren't always talked about.
bro. I'm excited. I'm excited. Let our listeners know. Let the POP. Yeah, there we go.
The pop nation.
Yeah, Pop Nation. People over paper. Pop Nation. POP. Man, we are excited for the future. Whenever this drops, there will be another 2 episodes. The next 2 episodes will have a lot better audio. We're just getting started, man. But that's all we're gonna leave y'all with for episode 1. We're gonna let y'all move on to the next ones. It'll be a little bit more organized. We'll have some good stuff together for y'all. But if y'all are still confused about what this podcast is going to be about, man, just know that it's 3 young men who have come together who want to make a difference by providing you guys the information that we have learned over the past 23, 24 years of our lives. And we want y'all to come along for the journey. So, Caleb, Pat, y'all got anything for the people as we move on?
Hey, we just hope that you tune in. Hope that you get something from this. Like I said, this is just servanthood. So we're just trying to give the game that we got. And you get to see the process of 3 young men help build each other up and help each other grow and get things off of our chests that are relevant to people our age and people older and people younger. So just people in the world, just people over paper, baby.
Right, man. We just hope y'all tune in. I think the biggest thing and the most important thing is whenever we talked about the idea of doing this, it wasn't about, clout. It wasn't about getting more followers on social media or any of that stuff. It was all about, serving people. And I think with all of our backgrounds, everything that we've done, in our career at Oklahoma together, everything we're doing is centered around serving people and how we can help out people. So that's all we're looking to do. Obviously, this is a platform, but we're easily accessible on any of our social media platforms for offline conversations, building relationships with people. So we're just looking to serve. We're looking to, make our impact on the world and be good men of God.
POP family. All right, y'all. And that's a wrap.
That's it.